Australians are inspired to understand their democracy.
You listen to D.I.Wireless, an Aussie punk rock podcast. Check it out, mate.
Working 28 years for the company. Will I ever beat the company, Cherie? I don't know, gonna have to wait and see, but I don't wanna be.
Welcome everyone to another episode of D.I.Wireless, and it's unfortunately going to be our one and only episode from our temporary base in Montreal at the moment. Our guest is very well known to the punk community in Montreal, having spent a lot of time in bands like the St. Catharines and Yesterday's Ring. He's now very busy booking lots of shows in the town, including a festival called Pouzza Fest, which happens in May each year, a big 3-day festival that runs over a weekend. We're very, very stoked to have him on the show, and we're joined today by Hugo. I'm going to pronounce it Mudie. Is that the right way to do it, Hugo?
You can decide. We never knew, really.
Well, I'm going to go with Mudie because it sounds like a crab that we eat back home in Australia anyway. Thanks very much for joining the show, man.
My pleasure.
Pouzza Fest, we'll get straight into it. It's a huge lineup once again this year. Headliners you're looking at are bands like Good Riddance, Newfound Glory, American Steel, which I'm absolutely bummed I'm not going to be here to get to see you play. And another band, Saves the Day. I have read that you basically say that as soon as you finish one year, you've pretty much got a list of bands that you want for the next year to play. Is that how it sort of rolls?
Yeah, well, I have a ultimate list somewhere that it's all the bands that I'd like to see play Pouzza in the next 10 years, I guess. And then every year I try to invite them back and see who's available. And we go from there. And then sometimes I have some surprises, I guess. Like Newfound Glory was not a plan, but they wanted to come, and it was a good addition for us. And it opens the festival to different kind of people that would not probably know about it if it wasn't for bands like that playing. So but I have my bands like American Steel are bands I listened to when I was 15 years old, and I really liked and influenced us for the St. Catharines. And also those bands are the ones I really want to see come here and play, especially the ones that don't come here, like American Steel never came here. Yeah. And so that's basically how I work. And then I listen to everything that people send, but it's getting a bit ridiculous. I have 10 requests every day for a year straight. So I try to listen to at least 30 seconds of everything.
So if you're out there listening and you want to play Pouzza Fest, you've got 30 seconds to impress if Hugo isn't familiar with you already.
And I think the good thing to know is also, I don't even listen to MySpace if you send it. I only listen to Bandcamp and Facebook or an MP3. And it has to look kind of good. If it's only no design, nothing, I think you don't put enough work into your band too.
That's fair enough. You've got to do it if you've got that many requests coming in. Speaking of people asking to be on the bill, how important is it to you for Montreal bands to be part of it? Because there's so many overseas bands that come through Montreal just in the regular touring circuit because it's such a popular place for bands to come. Even with Pouzza, I'm guessing it's important for you to keep a Montreal flavour to it, not only in how it's run but also with the bands as well.
It's very important. I think it's what makes Pouzza different than the other festival is the fact that it's in Montreal, that it's a French-speaking city, and that it's in Canada and in Quebec, and we want to celebrate that, and having bands from here play is necessary for that. And I also want to have French singing bands every year, so people from the States understand that it exists here and that it's a reality. And I don't know, I just want all those bands to have a chance to play with bigger US bands and European bands, and it's very important for me to have the Montreal bands involved in the international scene, because I think it's one of the things that was lacking when I was younger, is that bands from here didn't have the guts to go over there and play, and always thought of themselves as not as good as the American bands and all that. Because I remember the first time we wanted to go to the States, people were like, come on, it's too big, it's going to be useless, you know. So I think it's cool for them to see that those bands are the same as they are, and that they can trade stuff, and that they can go play there, they can like have them play here, all that. So yeah. And I want all the scenes to be represented too. Like, I don't have to necessarily like the music, I just want it to be well done, and that people are hardworking, and like, I don't care if it's like a ska band or a crust band or whatever. I like every kind of music.
Yeah, cool. Another thing we were just talking about it before we started recording, the international aspect of it. Is it growing each year? You get to actually see exactly where people are coming from. So not only crossing the border from the States, but you're starting to get people come in from, whether it be Europe, or you even said some Australians, you've sent some stuff out too?
Well, since the first year, actually, we were really surprised. Like, we wanted to do this for the Montreal people, but then we realized there was more people from Ontario than there was from Quebec.
That's not quite international, Ontario.
No, but it's still surprising, and yeah, since the first year we had people from the States and from Europe, and this year I know we have people from Japan, Australia, Switzerland, Germany, France. It's pretty crazy for us to see that, but I guess
it's weird hearing people from back home in Australia talking about, I'm coming to go to punk rock bowling in Vegas, or I'm coming to go to, I'm hearing people talking about going to Grows Rock. You know what I mean? It seems like some punks have got money these days.
Well, I think those festivals are more for like older like crowd. I think it's a lot of nostalgia in it, and I think a lot of those people don't necessarily go to like 50 shows a year anymore. They just go to all those festivals that all the bands they like play, which makes sense to me. I mean,
and then stay home on the weekends.
And when you have kids and all that, it's kind of hard to go out every night. So you just take those as holidays, and you relive your punk rock teenage years. I don't know. I think it's great. I mean, that's why we do it, and that's why we have a lot of bands that are like reuniting, or just bands that were popular in the 90s, or just bands that I liked when I was young, or that were popular, that are not necessarily doing much anymore, but they're still around. So I think it's cool.
Let's get along to playing some music on the show. Hugo, we always invite our guests to actually play some tracks. Now, the first one, I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. I might have a crack at the band as Brutal Cherie.
That's great.
And you're going to have a crack at the song title for me. Where are these guys from? What are they about? Can you explain that to us at least?
They're from Montreal. We released their album on L'Écurie Musique, which is a label we do here. They sing in French, which is a good thing, and there's not a lot of good punk rock band that sing in French. So when we heard them first, we were really excited about it. The song is called Cours ou crève, and it's off their album called Cours ou crève.
Dans cette ville sombre
Hugo, in relation to Pooza, you've always been very open to the fact that you thought this idea would work great after going to Fest a few times, and you thought, hey, this would be awesome in Montreal. I'd love to be able to pull this off in Montreal. Does the fact that you based it on that, is it a bit difficult because you'll always be compared to that festival? Everything from ticket prices to how long people have to line up to all that sort of stuff?
I think it's fair that people compare us to Fest because, like I said, since the beginning, we totally based the festival on it. I went to Fest 2 and 3 when the St. Catharines was playing a lot. And at the time, we just thought it was cool and thought it would be cool to do it in Montreal, but didn't have the nerve or the structure to do it at all. But then when we started working more and having a company, we thought it would make sense and it would be a great thing. And then punk rock got a lot better in recent years in Montreal, so it was a perfect timing.
What do you mean by better? It was just things are a little more organized, or
There's more venues doing shows. There's more good bands. There's more labels. There's everything. I mean, 10 years ago it wasn't the best for punk in Montreal, and I think now it's like there's tens and tens of bands I really enjoy listening to, which was not really happening 10 years ago. But yeah, for comparing us to Fest, I think it's fair. And we went this year. Like I played with my new thing, but we also tried to experience the festival as festival goers. We took notes of good things and bad things, and we tried to apply it to our festival. But I don't think we're gonna be better or like I think it's just different. It's a different city. Like Gainesville is a super small town. Montreal is a huge city, so it's a lot different. And
do you take things on board though? It's kind of like when you hear if someone come up to you at the shows or anything like that and say, this really sucked or this was fucking awesome, this was what you did really well. You take both of those things sort of on board?
Of course, but there's not a lot of critics. There was like at the time of the festival last year when it got a bit too big and we were all like overwhelmed about it, and there was some fuck ups with the lineups and all that. Of course, people come to me because I'm a well-known face, so they're like, dude,
you're easily recognizable.
They're like, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you do this to make money and blah blah blah? I'm like, well, it's a business, but it's not to make money, because I would do something else. I would make more money working at the record store. But yeah, I think I consider what they say. When it's intelligent and it makes sense, we take it in consideration. Like even this year, we changed the way the passes and tickets and all that work because we wanted to please as many people as possible. If it works great this year, we'll do that again. If it's still not the right one, we'll try to figure out what the right thing is. Like
it's true. You're talking about people sort of feeling like they're getting their value for what they are forking out for a ticket. One thing that you went, even from last year, which was your second year, one of the things you did almost straight away was you started to diversify and do sort of different things, like have some films show as part of the festival, and you had a kids stage as well where there was people doing children's performances as well. Do you think that's important to festivals now, that it's not just going to be people stoked on bands, or is it just something to do that's totally different? Is that why you're doing that sort of stuff?
Well, it's all that put together. I think it's for fun. I think it's cool to have other stuff to do. You can watch so many bands. Like there's like 250 bands from 2 in the afternoon till 2 in the morning. I think it's cool to relax and do some other stuff than get drunk and watch bands. So that's why we put the movie thing. The kids thing is because we all have kids, and we kind of wanted them involved, and we wanted them to have fun while we were stressing about the festival.
How did it go, the kids stage?
It was the best thing. I think it was the only one I could actually go really and enjoy myself, because it was so early. There wasn't that many problems yet in the day. So
your kids were there having a good time, I'm guessing, listening to people like, I think Mike Park was playing, Greg Atnito.
Yeah, Mike Park, Greg, and his wife, they have a project called Playdate, and Kepi Gouli played. And this year we're gonna have Mike Park back, and other people that I haven't announced yet. But yeah, it's gonna be two days this year instead of one. We're trying to find an outdoor place to do it, so it's gonna be even more family friendly. And we want to add more stuff. Like we always wanted to have a sport aspect to it. We did a ramp, like a skate ramp last year, which was so and so. We'll probably do it again, but a bit more organized. But I'd like to do like street hockey and baseball and like just like maybe roller derby, like just
Bands, no matter how much you love music, you can, if you're going that hard, it can wear on you. So getting something different to see is definitely good. But let's get back to playing some music. This is a Quebec City band that you're going to play next. I've heard of them, but I haven't heard any of their music. So another great opportunity to hear some new stuff on the show. This is the Hunters. Can you tell us a little bit about these guys? I think you recorded them.
yeah, I produced the album. They're a young band from Quebec. They're like 21 years old now, but they were like 14 when they started. This is their second album. It came out on Stomp Records. From here, it's they're one of the hardest working band around here. They tour a lot. They're going to Europe in a couple of weeks. They were at Fest. They do cross Canada. They're really really cool band. Good people. I love them. So the Hunters with Van Party Forever.
Let's talk a little bit about your musical projects, just very quickly. Yesterday's Ring finished up in 2010. The St. Catharines actually, I guess, just officially sort of finished up things last year, around April last year. Are you missing it?
I missed some part of it, but like you said, I haven't really stopped. I was supposed to, and if you ask my girlfriend, she's gonna say I didn't stop at all. But yeah, we slowed down, but we were already slowing down with the St. Catharines for the last couple of years. Like instead of playing like 150 shows a year, we used to do, but now we were playing like 50, 60 shows a year. But yeah, like we did this thing. Me and Fred did this thing called Miracles.
Did that just come of Fred was just like, I've got some stuff that I want you to hear, and you're just like, yep, I'm going to sing over that?
We started it before we broke up St. Catharines, actually.
Speaking of the St. Catharines, our Australian listeners are probably not sort of aware with some of the news stories some of the things that people talk about when it comes to North American music. But you guys, the St. Catharines put out a record on Fat in 2006. And then by the time you were ready to record again, you put out Fireworks, I think, in 2011. 2011? Okay, 2010, sorry. When it was time to do that record, the statement that you've made is you basically took it to the label, to Fat Mike, and he said that you've changed your sound. I'm not releasing this.
Yeah, basically, like, a lot of things happened, but it's one of the things is that most people that worked at Fat when we were signed there were not there anymore when we were ready to do the next record.
Because it was 4 years later, right?
Yeah, and the music business was not the same too. Like we were at the end of an era at Fat Wreck, and we got the good thing out of it. But then when it was time to record again, it wasn't there anymore. Like there was no more Europe office, there was no more Canadian office. It went from like 16 people working in California to like 8 or something, you know. So it was different. And I think the people that were still working there were not big fans of the St. Catharines.
Yeah, right.
And also we all had kids now. We couldn't tour as much as before. And
that's what the label would have wanted?
Well, it was never, all those things were never said. It's just what we realized. And then when we sent the songs, it was totally different. It was what we wanted to play, but it was different from Dancing for Decadence. And yeah, basically Fat Mike just said, it's too soft, it's not punk enough, and I'm not gonna release it. I was cool with it. Like we changed label every album we ever made. We made like 6 with St. Catharines, all on different labels. We made 4 with Yesterday's Ring, all on different labels.
Being through difficulties, whether it be working with labels, you know, some challenges that happens there, to everything that, unfortunately, the ugly side of things that you would have to see when you're looking at the business side of music, when you've done a massive festival like this, or even running your booking company. Having seen sort of that ugly side, are you still inspired by it, or has it worn you down?
No, I'm still inspired by it. I mean, it's probably my favorite thing. Like music for me is, I don't even see the business side of it when I listen to music. I don't buy records by labels, you know. I don't even know what labels like people are on, and I don't care really. So for me, the business thing is just, it was natural, because since I was 18 years old, I was booking bands, managing bands, and booking shows. That's all I knew how to do. And then I had to find a job when I was 27, when I got kids and all. So the only thing I knew what to do was music. So that's what I did. But no, I think there's a lot of bad aspects to the music business, but I think it's just, we have to take it as a normal business. I think there's a lot of bad aspects to every kind of business, and music is not different. Of course, it's upsetting, because you think of music as all those open-minded people with like passion, and you know, like art comes first and all that, but then you realize it's probably only 10% of the people working in music, even in punk rock, which is
the opposite to what you'd think, right?
Exactly. When you're young, you think like all those people are like a big community. They don't talk shit behind each other's back. They're all like friends. They don't care about money. They don't care about labels. They don't care about whatever. But then you realize it's like exactly the same as the normal music business, but smaller, you know, with mohawks. Which was kind of sad in the beginning, but now I think it's just funny, and I deal with it the way I deal with everything, with laughing behind their backs, I guess. You know? You
got to laugh it off sometimes. Let's play the last song that you're gonna, or one of the last songs you're gonna select for us. This is Inside Riot and the song "The Glory Is." Can you tell us a little bit about these guys?
Yeah, they're a band from here that I book and manage. They're a great band. We did the record on Puza Records. Fast, energetic punk rock. They remind me of like a mix between like Lifetime and No Use for a Name. They're really cool. They're great guys.
we're wrapping things up with Hugo. Our time's run out, so we're going to just fire some really, really quick questions at you. If you had 3 ultimate headliners for Poozah, who would they be? They've got to be alive.
The Broadways, 15, and the Pogues.
Nice. That might be in store for 2014, you never know. Have you ever invited any Australian bands?
We did, but they ended up not coming.
Who was it?
Backyard Sturgeon, I think.
Backyard Surgeons, really?
Yeah, but they didn't come. They sent me a hat though that I wear sometime.
They're good friends of mine actually from down in Melbourne. Who any Australian bands that you would invite?
That I would.
That are favourites of yours? I'm testing you now. Midnight Oil, AC/DC.
AC/DC, yeah, I like them.
And what? I know you've been asked this question a lot, but you have to clear it up for Australians like myself. What the fuck is a Poozah?
It's a traditional meal from Quebec called poutine. You probably stay.
I've had poutine, yeah.
So
For those people back home, it's chips and gravy.
with cheese.
With cheese, I should say. Curds. Hugo's clearing it up for me. So yeah, that's what poutine is.
Yeah, I'm an expert. And you mix that with pizza.
So you put chips, gravy, curds on a pizza.
On a pizza. And if you're lucky enough, you put it on the pizza when there's no mozzarella cheese, and then you put the mozzarella cheese on top. You know? So
That's
it's like a pie, kind of.
That's a special tip on exactly how to have it in the best way possible. Hugo, we absolutely really do appreciate you sitting down with D.I.Wireless. We wish you all the best with the festival and with everything you've got coming up in Montreal and everything you've got going on with your music as well at the moment. We're actually going to play a song from Miracles to go out on, and this is My Worst Enemy. Anything to say about this song in particular?
It's about myself. I'm my worst enemy. That's it.
That's the best way to put it. Thanks very much, Hugo, for being on the show.
Thank you.
No worries at all. We'll be back with another episode of D.I.Wireless shortly, but for now, enjoy Miracles.
The colors nowhere, but time starts when we talk. I'm choking again, but this time it's my fault. I'm counting the days and I want it to stop. I see people talk, but can't hear what they say. Supposed to be friends, but they're just using me. I'm closing my eyes, wishing this would all end. I wake up in hell, I think it's my last chance. I'm my worst enemy. My own worst enemy. I made a mistake and I needed some help. I felt so alone and just wanted a friend. Nobody wrote, nobody called my name. His life is a game and he's blinded by fame. You don't know the story, you don't know the lines. You know that you're hurting us with your lies. Music was something I'd be someone else. No one but myself to impress. I'm my worst enemy. My own worst enemy. She gave everything a reason to live. A house that I can't really call my home. The children are laughing, the sun on the other side. I'm starting from nothing, I don't want this to die.